Greetings! Welcome to the College of Science Transfer Orientation. My name is Rainey Vijayavira. I'm the Assistant Director of Advising and Student Services. Alright, let's go ahead and jump in. So today I'm going to cover majors and degree structure, tracking your progress, academic advising, engagement and research opportunities, and then probably what you're most interested in is class registration. And then we'll wrap up with some other things to expect. Alright, so just really quickly, these are the majors offered in the College of Science. Ideally, your major should be listed here. If you do not see your major, then you are in the wrong college meeting. Alrighty, so we'll just move on from here and discuss some of our degree requirements. So 3 of our majors in the College of Science have pre-majors: computer science, neuroscience and cognitive science, and psychological science. What this means is before you can move into the major program, you must complete some of the requirements within the pre-major. For example, in the computer science, pre-computer science, you will need to complete 4 pre-computer science courses, meet some GPA requirements before you can move into the full major. Your advisors for the program will let you know what the pre-major requirements are to satisfy and move into the full major. Some of our majors in the College of Science require a minor, so BS, BA in mathematics, except for the teaching emphasis, BA, BS in statistics and data science, BA in computer science, and BA in psychology. So all of these majors require a minor. You can think of a minor as just an additional area of study, something that could potentially complement your major. Also could just be completely unrelated. A minor doesn't require quite as much coursework as a major. So for example, it could be in around 4 to 6 classes, anywhere from 18 to 22 units, just depends on what you select. So an example or some examples of some minors could be a math minor if you're doing computer science, or a language, a Spanish minor, a business minor. So those are some ideas, but you can minor in whatever you like. For those majors who do not have a required minor, you are more than welcome to minor in something as well. All degrees will have foundation requirements. So these include like your English composition, mathematics, second language. So second language, for our Bachelor of Science degrees, you'll need the second semester proficiency of a language, so like French 102, German 102, whatever level of the language. Our Bachelor of Arts degrees require 4th semester proficiency, so that'll be 202 levels, so Spanish 202, German 202, whichever language you're interested in taking. For language, the second language requires a grade of C or better to satisfy this requirement. We also have Tier 1 and Tier 2 general education requirements. If you're coming in from an Arizona community college, we have the Arizona General Education Curriculum, or AJAC. That will satisfy all the Tier 1 and Tier 2 requirements. If you've completed that, let your advisor know so that they can expect your AJAC to come in. For those of you who are not coming in with an AJAC, just work with your advisor to discuss which general education requirements are satisfied and which ones you have yet to complete. Our Gen Eds are comprised of social sciences, humanities, arts, and natural sciences. For those of you who are in BA programs, you may potentially need some natural science courses. These are courses like 170s at the Tier 1 level, and then Tier 2, they're just called natural sciences. Because you're not taking laboratory sciences per se. For example, if you're a math BA, you don't need lab sciences. You will take the Gen Ed natural sciences that our other students take across campus. Alright, so other requirements for your degrees. To graduate, you need 120 total units. Those of you who are in the hydrology and atmospheric sciences, your unit requirement is 125. You will need 42 units of upper division coursework. That's the 300 and 400 level classes. Community colleges only offer 100 and 200 levels, so for transfer students, we really want to keep an eye on this 42 unit mark. We require 30 units of your credit to come from the U of A, so 30 units in residence. You also need, if you're in the honors college, your honors units, 30 of those, and some of these units will come from your thesis. Your GPA requirements, you need 2.0 in your overall GPA, and then also in your major and your minor. So a note about your GPA, when you start at a new university, your GPA resets. So basically you're starting from scratch, which could be good or bad depending on how you want to look at it. So it doesn't mean that all your hard work, was for nothing. All your grades still show up on your transcript. So anything you brought over from other institutions show up on your U Arizona transcript. But for GPA calculation for our institution, everything you take at U of A just kind of starts over. So keep that in mind. I know these are quite a bit of requirements to keep track of. So we have a tool called the Advisement Report, and you can kind of self-check your progress and monitor your progress towards graduation. So let's jump into that. Where do you get your Advisement Report? So when you log on to your UAccess Student Center, this is what the homepage looks like. It'll have your schedule kind of in the middle. Over on the left-hand side, there's this little drop-down menu where you can click Advisement Report right here. It also has some additional information for things you can look at. Transfer Credit Report, which is helpful. Also, over on this right-hand side, we'll have some things that we'll look at just in a few minutes later on. But go ahead, we'll click Advisement Report. Another thing that you can click is when you're on that left-hand side, there's the My Academics link. It'll take you to this page. You can also look at your Advisement Report here. This page is handy because it tells you your career, undergrad, program, College of Science, your majors, your minors, then it tells you your class standing. Some of you might be transferring quite a bit of credit, so your class standing, if you're not sure what it is, this is where you can find it very easily. So the student's a senior. Okay, so moving on with Advisement Report. We have two ways to view an Advisement Report. We have the HTML on the left, the PDF on the right. So there are benefits to viewing both documents. The HTML is a dynamic document. It has tabs that expand and collapse that indicate whether or not your requirements are met. It easily lets you see which areas you need to satisfy. As you can see here, the tabs that are collapsed will point to the right. So we'll see Tier 2 Arts right over here. This is satisfied. And then down here, we'll see Tier 2 Individuals and Societies. It's not satisfied. And then listed below, you'll see all these classes that are available to satisfy. I want to point out right here, View 100. It's only showing you the first 10, so you can always expand. And this is something UAccess, you'll notice, will do when you're enrolling for classes. It might show you only the first few options. So anytime you notice View a certain amount, always click that to expand so you can see all the offerings. Another thing I want to point out is if you enroll in a class, this requirement will show up as satisfied, but if you end up dropping the class, the requirement will revert to not satisfied. So you just kind of want to scroll through, look for things that are not satisfied so that you can view what you still need to take. Then we get to the PDF view. The PDF is really handy because there's information on here that you cannot find anywhere else. For example, major GPAs, this is the only place you'll ever find this. Major, minor GPAs, that's the only place in UAccess you will ever find this. This also has some good information like requirement term or catalog year. That just means which term you started at the university. So let's say you're starting in the fall of 2020, your catalog year would be fall 2020. So this PDF view is a static document. You can't click on links and stuff, but it's just as handy. This is what advisors typically prefer to look at. So what's nice is in red text it says what's not satisfied. So it easily draws your attention to that. It's also nice because this kind of lays out really fine print like what you need to take. So we like to think of this as like a contract between yourself and the university as to what you need for graduation. One tricky thing, as I mentioned, since it is a contract, read the fine print. down below here it says total units and requirement status include units in progress. What this means is if you kind of take a look at total units, it looks like this student has 61 units completed, but in reality, they don't have those units actually completed because in progress units are counting towards this. So they really only have 42 units done. Once this semester is complete, then they will have 61 units completed. So it's kind of tricky. All right, so then as you scroll through the PDF view, you'll be able to see courses that are satisfied. It will say that, or requirements, I'm sorry, and it will show you which course specifically is being used. So in this student's case, they had an AP credit, advanced placement credit, history that's satisfying their Tier 1 individuals and societies. However, their Tier 2 individuals and societies, you can see not satisfied, and then it's listing text in terms of like what course can be used to satisfy that requirement. So both documents list just all the requirements, but one thing they don't do is address sequencing. So there's a couple things we can do for that. We have suggested four-year plans, which are available on your departmental websites. Your advisor should provide you with that. And we also have degree search. If you can't find four-year plans on your departmental websites, this is another great resource. Also, if you're just curious and you want to look at different four-year plans for different majors, you can go to this website and learn about all the majors on campus if you're interested in double majoring, perhaps. So those are two resources, but your advisor will make you a custom degree plan. As a transfer student, you're not starting from, semester one. You're coming in with coursework already done. So we will tailor you a graduation plan. So your academic advisor, who you should meet with as soon as possible, is going to be one of your biggest resources on campus. They are here to help you obviously graduate. So learn about your degree requirements, let you know about resources on campus, ways to get involved, and it's really a collaborative relationship. They want to get to know about you, what your goals are, what you intend to do in the future, and really present different options to you. So they will help you with class planning, but we really do want to know what you want to accomplish during your time here. So, for example, when I meet with my students, I really want to know what their career plans are. Do they want to go to graduate school? What types of clubs and organizations are they looking to join? So I can help them develop different plans, different ideas, look at different resources that they can take advantage of. And often when I do class planning, I work with undecided students. So I make multiple plans, and ultimately the decision's up to the students. So we're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to help you decide, based on the situation, give you a couple of different options so you can find the path that works best for you. So let us know what you're thinking so we can help you find the best options. So a lot of people on campus are going to want to offer you help and support. But keep in mind that academic advisors are the only ones that are authorized to make exceptions to your degrees. So evaluate and apply your transfer credit that you're bringing in. They're going to sign off when you're about to graduate to say, yes, all degree requirements are met. And if something comes up and potentially if you need to petition something, that's who you'll start with. So an example I like to use is catalog year. So I mentioned that earlier. It's the term in which you begin your program. Sometimes different majors will change their requirements based on the year. So let's say you meet a senior and they, give you advice and tell you classes to take. It's always nice to talk to, upperclassmen. They have experience, but they can't necessarily advise you on classes because everyone's catalog year is different. So if they tell you, oh no, you don't need to take Biochem 460, whatever, I didn't have to take that. Well, for their catalog year, perhaps that's true, but for yours, it might not be the case. That's why you always want to talk to your academic advisor and not rely on your peers for advising. It would be very unfortunate to think you don't need a class and then find out when you're doing your degree check that, oh no, you really do. So talk to your academic advisor for your program That way we can make sure you're on track to graduate. So who is your advisor? If you haven't met them yet or figured out who they are, log on to your UAccess Student Center. On the right hand side, there's going to be a column. It'll say advisors, kind of right here where this arrow is pointing. You can click details. It's going to list some advisors. Some departments will have more than one. And if you click on the link that says schedule appointment, it will direct you to schedule an appointment. We are using a system called Trellis, and it's just an online scheduling system where you can book your appointments. A lot of advisors also do drop-in times, so you can look into how to schedule their drop-in times, meet with them, and all of that. So this is just some screenshots of what Trellis looks like. Over here on the left-hand side, you want to log in with your Net ID and password, and then you can kind of see here, meet with my advisor. And then if you're searching for a different advisor, that's maybe you're trying to declare a second major or a minor, you can click search for advisors here, and then you can look up different advisors. So Trellis is the way to make appointments. Two colleges that don't use Trellis at this point are Eller College of Management, so business, and then A-Center. They are using a system called ESMS. If you go to their websites, you'll be able to see how to make appointments. All right, so pending transfer credit and AP and all this good stuff. So your academic advisors are the first point of contact to have all your credit evaluated. This is what our jobs are. We will tackle this and assess your credit, and we can work with the transfer credit office to ensure that everything is articulated correctly. So give us some time. We'll look through your transcripts, make sure everything is updated on your advisement report. It might take a little bit of time, so please be patient with us. We do have an Office of Transfer Credit and Articulation, so you can definitely check out the resources that they have. There's an in-state course equivalency guide, so any of the Arizona state colleges or community colleges, we have direct equivalencies already built, and then we also have a transfer credit guide for out-of-state, so you can refer to those if you would like. However, we will do the articulation and evaluation for you. All right, so moving on to a new topic. What if I am pre-med, pre-health? So a large majority of our incoming students do indicate that they're interested in going on to health professions. So I'm going to talk briefly about this service. So the A-Center, which is formerly the College of Letters, Arts, and Science, or CLAS, they house our pre-health advising center. So if you're like pre-med, pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician assistant, podiatry, basically these are the folks that are experts in helping you along the way to ensure that you're taking the correct courses, preparing for the entrance exams, joining organizations that can help you, getting the volunteer hours, the observation hours, the clinical experience, all of that, to ensure that you're going to be a competitive applicant. So as soon as you can, connect with this office. You can go to this website and then do their online info sessions, so you can join their listserv and make an appointment so you can connect and start planning out. So as a transfer student, time is of the essence, so you can ensure that you are on track to apply to these programs as soon as possible. So a lot of times students ask, what's the best major? Pick a major that you are very invested in, that you enjoy. Think of it as almost as a backup as well, a plan B. So if down the road you decide this isn't the route I want to take, you have a major you can fall back on. Also, choosing a major that you really enjoy and are passionate about will be very valuable, in that you're going to be invested, interested, enjoy the coursework, and it will result in hopefully the grades that are going to be, ideal when you're applying to these programs. Whereas if you choose a major that you think might look good, but you really don't like, your grades will probably suffer. So it's really in your best interest to pick something that you really love. But definitely check out this resource. They are very helpful in helping students plan for applying to these programs. So really quickly, if you're wondering what the requirements are, we have all of these lab sciences, so the biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry, and physics, all with labs. So you need 2 semesters with labs. You can see the U Arizona corresponding course numbers here. 2 semesters of English composition, and then college level mathematics. This says college algebra, math 112. A few require calculus. So you can take a look at those. These are some additional requirements that were added back in 2015 because the MCAT changed. So they're recommending a biostatistics course, anatomy and physiology, psychology, and biochemistry. So these are all strongly recommended now. And then the Tucson College of Medicine, students who are entering the 2021 class are now required to take an upper division science in cell biology, histology, microbiology, pharmacology, pathology, immunobiology labs when applicable. An upper division molecular cellular biology or nucleic acids, also a lab when applicable. And then conversational fluency in a second language. So your academic advisor can provide you a list of these courses, which U Arizona classes would satisfy a micro class, immunobiology, etc. And so can the pre-health advisors. So moving on from that, when and the how. So our academic catalog is where you can find all the rules and policies and procedures. That's really important because you're in a new learning environment and there's probably a lot of questions of how does XYZ work at the University of Arizona. For example, how does grading work and GPAs? How is that all calculated? So we operate on an A through E scale for regular grades. So A, B, C, D, E is our failing grade. We do have pass-fail for certain grades, so that's where the F goes. GPAs, we've covered that. It's a 4-point scale. How does dropping a class work, or what happens if you need to drop all of your classes? There's specific dates and deadlines, and we'll talk about that in a moment. How does repeating a class work? So let's say you end up taking, your Calc 2 class doesn't go as well and you would like to repeat it. There's some policies on repeating courses. And then how do awards work? Dean's List and academic honors. And then academic standing. What makes you have junior standing versus senior standing? So all the policies are located on the catalog, all online, so you can look that up here. It's definitely important to take a look. So I mentioned calendars and dates and deadlines. So you can access this on the homepage, arizona.edu. I highly recommend just taking a quick look at the calendars and maybe marking down in your planner important registration dates and deadlines, when tuition's due, last day to withdraw, last day to drop a class, last day to add a class. And when you check in with your advisors, they're going to likely add you to their departmental listserv. So it's nice to kind of get reminders through your advisors that way. A lot of them will say, hey, reminder, today's the last day to add classes or withdraw. Priority registration's coming up, so pay attention to those emails. All right. So moving on to something a little bit different. Engagement. So many of you probably have been involved in various activities like clubs and organizations, whether it was in your previous institution. So U of A's 100% engagement initiative was basically to ensure that all of our students are getting the opportunity to develop some real world skills and knowledge and apply it to different challenges. So some of the things that you can do with student engagement are discovering your interests, getting some hands-on experience, so taking those skills and concepts that you're learning in the classroom and actually applying it, and then developing some skills. So employers are really looking for applied skills and knowledge, and being able to actually talk about what you're learning. So some of the centers that we have on campus and off campus These are all places where you can start to get some hands-on experience. So we have the Flandreau Science Center, Biosphere 2, Tumamoc Hill. Underneath the football stadium, we have the Mirror Lab. And actually, if you've never been, definitely take advantage of doing a Mirror Lab tour. It's super cool. This is where they make telescopes, or the mirrors for the world's largest telescopes. It's pretty cool. Tree ring science was actually invented at the U of A. Dendrochronology, that's really interesting. They do tours as well. And then there's other ways to get involved if you want to do community outreach, clubs and organizations. You can mentor your peers. You can be a TA, a preceptor, a peer advisor. And then the biggest thing that you have at your fingertips at the College of Science and at the University of Arizona is actually undergraduate research, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So some of the things that you can do, these are actually just photos of various students being involved here at the College of Science. So we have different ways for 100% engagement. There's credit and non-credit. You can do stuff in your major or just campus-wide, on and off campus. So some of the things that you can develop are leadership, professional development, intercultural exploration, and then some of the competencies, as you can see, are listed here, professionalism, sustainability. So lots of really cool ways to kind of explore your interest and develop. So with undergraduate research, this is definitely one of the best things that you have access to as a College of Science student. Some universities don't even let undergraduates do research, so this is definitely something you want to take advantage of. So some of the things that we've seen our students do, they've gone on and published articles, they've been in peer-reviewed papers, gone on to do presentations. So there's really so many opportunities available for students, and we want you to start with hitting the ground running, so as soon as possible. So once you're on campus, once you've settled in, start talking to your advisor, start talking to faculty to look into what opportunities there might be. So you might not necessarily be doing really refined project right away. You might kind of start off volunteering, just helping out. You might help out the grad assistants, but eventually you'll be able to build yourself up and get experience, and then potentially start doing your own research. So you don't have to have any experience. A lot of times that's preferred, so you can kind of get trained and help the lab with whatever tasks that they need help with. So it's definitely a great opportunity when you're here at the College of Science. So talk to your advisors and they can get you started. So we have paid research, we have independent study, work study, you can volunteer, you can do stuff with various companies. So take advantage of this really cool opportunity. All right, so probably the thing that you're most interested in, registering for classes. So schedule an appointment with your advisor as soon as possible. Go to advising.arizona.edu if you don't know who your advisor is, or just go to Trellis. You'll be able to schedule an appointment with your advisor right away. With our course schedule, when you're registering for spring classes, the schedule of classes goes live in October. When you're registering for your fall classes, the schedule goes live in March. You'll get assigned an enrollment appointment. So you can look at your UAccess Student Center and it will let you know when your enrollment appointment is. For transfer students, all you really need to do is meet with an advisor, and then your hold gets lifted, and then you get to register. So orientation is a mandatory step. One of the components of orientation is meeting with an advisor. All right, and then you'll be able to enroll, like I said, once you've met with that advisor and done and completed all the components of your orientation. Some other things to note, we have different campuses for Arizona. We have our main campus in Tucson in person, and then we have Arizona Online. So if you ever see classes that say iCourses and have a $50 fee, that's our online class, which you're definitely able to take, so no worries there. But if you're ever looking at classes part of Arizona Online, the mode of instruction will say Arizona Online. Or I'm sorry, the campus will say online. So the iCourses obviously won't get scheduled into your weekly calendar because they're online. The time is not actually scheduled, but it'll say meeting information not available. So that's where your iCourses will show up. Okay, anytime you're registering for classes, please pay attention to the meeting dates and sessions. This is an example from the fall 2020 dates and sessions. So you'll notice we have a regular term. We have 7 week 1, 7 week 2, 5 week 1, 5 week 2, 5 week 3. So these are the different sessions that are available during a semester. We also have classes with irregular meeting patterns. These are called dynamically dated classes. Math 122A, Functions for Calculus. If you happen to be taking this class, it's a 3-week class that assesses your readiness for calculus. If you complete this class with a C or better, you move on to Math 122B, which is the calculus course. If you don't complete this class with a C or better, you move on to Math 120R, Prep for Calculus. So just pay attention. It'll say the meeting dates right here. And just be very aware if you're signing up for a bunch of accelerated courses. Obviously, those are going to be a lot more challenging and time intense because they are moving at a faster pace. Also, the deadlines, dates and deadlines will be accelerated to drop. All right. Technology. So Arizona uses D2L, Desire to Learn. Your instructors will most likely have a Start Here D2L homepage. You'll be able to kind of figure out your courses there. We are an Adobe Creative Campus, so if you go to our UITS website, you can access our software licensing there, so you can get a lot of free software, Microsoft Office 365, so definitely take advantage of all of that software. We also have 24/7 tech support, which is really helpful if you're having tech issues. So UITS is a really great resource for students. You can get antivirus and a lot of different software items. So definitely reach out to UITS if you ever have issues. Their phone number and website is listed here below. So as we're kind of wrapping up, some things to keep in mind. Arizona Cat Mail is our official means of communication with students. So definitely check your email frequently, a couple times a day. And when you're emailing professionals on campus, whether it's faculty, staff, or campus, just people on campus, email, include your full name and ID. That's very helpful. Helps us know who you are. And finally, if you decide you are not going to attend, make sure you let us know so we can help you drop your classes and back you out of the system so you don't get billed. We don't want you to get stuck with a tuition bill and for classes that you never attended. So communicate, let someone know hey, I'm not coming after all, so we can assist you with dropping your classes. That is it. Thank you so much for listening. I know that was a ton of information. If you have questions about anything at all or would like to reach me, send me an email, science@arizona.edu. Other than that, welcome. I am so happy that you are part of the College of Science, and good luck and bear down.